Have you ever scrolled through your own social media and thought, who even is that person? It feels like we're all leading a double life, right? One online and one, well, in the real world. Today, we're going to dig into why our digital and physical selves can feel like two completely different people. And believe it or not, the answer is way older than the internet itself.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that really gets to the heart of the matter. And it's something I bet you've asked yourself more than once. I mean, really think about it. Is that person on your Instagram feed, your LinkedIn page, or even on Reddit, is that the 100% unfiltered, authentic you? Or is it something else? This gap, this little space between who we are online and who we are offline, that's the big mystery we're going to try and solve today. And I bet this looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? Online, we put out this highlight reel of our lives. We're always adventurous, totally organized, effortlessly happy, and somehow an expert on everything. But our offline self, yeah, that person loves a quiet night in, definitely has a messy desk sometimes, and for sure has bad days. Look, we're all still figuring things out. But this isn't about being fake. It's something else entirely. It's about performance. So you might think this whole idea of performing and having a personal brand is a new thing, a social media thing. But get this, it's not. The idea comes from a sociologist who had this all figured out decades before anyone even typed www.
Let's meet the man himself, Erving Goffman. His kind of radical idea way back in the 1950s was that pretty much all of our social life isn't spontaneous. It's theatrical. He believed we are all just actors, and all the world is our stage.
He gave this theory a fancy name, dramaturgy. And it's pretty simple, really. It's the idea that when we're around other people, we're basically performing. We're playing roles and trying to make sure people see us in a certain way. And to explain it, he said our lives are split into two main areas.
First, you've got the front stage. This is anytime you're on. It's your public performance, when you're at work, on a first date, or, yep, you guessed it, when you're posting on social media. It's where you know there's an audience watching, so you act the part.
And then there's the backstage. Ah, the backstage. This is your private world. It's where you can finally let your guard down, drop the performance, be your messy, weird self, and get ready for your next time in the spotlight. It's home, basically. No audience allowed.
So, how does this actually play out in real life? Well, think about a classic front stage performance, a first date. Goffman would say you're doing something called impression management. You choose your costume, that perfect outfit. You follow a script, polite small talk, you control your expressions, smiling, nodding. You even manage your props, like not staring at your phone. It's a full-blown production.
Okay, so that's a cool theory from the 1950s. But what in the world does that have to do with our digital lives today? Well, as it turns out, pretty much everything. Goffman's idea is more relevant now than ever.
I mean, our social media profiles, they are the ultimate front stages. They're like these perfectly designed theaters that give us total control over our costumes, our scripts, our lighting, the whole shebang.
But here's the really important part, the twist, if you will. Research shows that most of us aren't trying to create completely fake people online. We actually want to show our real selves. We just engage in some very, very careful editing. So what does this editing look like? Well, researchers have found a bunch of strategies we use. We might intentionally give off a certain vibe, maybe embellish a story just a little bit to make it funnier, or conform to whatever's popular on that platform. But one of the biggest strategies, the one we all do, is something called dividing the self.
And this makes total sense, right? You're not the exact same person with your boss as you are with your childhood best friend. We all play different roles in real life, and we do the exact same thing online. We just have different digital stages for our different performances.
So you've got a stage like LinkedIn. That is the professional performance. It's all buttoned up, full of our accomplishments and skills. The script is formal, and our costume is that nice professional headshot.
Then you can hop over to a totally different stage like Instagram. Here, it's a whole different play. We're performing our social self, sharing fun pictures, exciting travels, and stories that create this image of a happy, adventurous life.
And then you have stages like Reddit, where you can put on a mask. Here, we can perform an anonymous self. We can dive deep into niche hobbies or share opinions that we would never, ever post on our other, more public front stages. Okay, so what is the big takeaway here? Let's bring it all back to that first question we asked.
Are our online profiles the real us? Well, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. It's way more interesting than that.
And this right here is the absolute heart of it. We're not creating a false self, we're not faking it, we are editing our real self. We're taking the raw footage of our complicated, messy backstage lives, and we're just choosing which scenes to publish.
Think about it this way. You're the director of a movie, and that movie is about you. You're not hiring an actor to play you, you are you. You're just choosing the best takes, the most flattering camera angles, and deciding what gets left on the cutting room floor.
Now, this life is a stage idea is super powerful, and it explains a lot. But, like any theory, it isn't the whole story. It's important to see where the metaphor has its limits.
For one, critics point out that this theory sometimes focuses so much on our individual choices that it can miss the bigger picture. The roles we're even allowed to play and the scripts society hands us are often shaped by huge forces way beyond our control, like social class or power structures.
And all of this leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending question to chew on. If your work self is a performance, and your social media self is a performance, and even your family gathering self is a performance, where does it all end? Where does the real you actually begin? Definitely something to think about next time you go to post.